Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is We Are Blessed. I have had a few opportunities to do the medicine, Bufo, and the plant medicine person that I train with typically teaches that we combine the frog and the toad, and you would take combo, or the warrior, the frog first, and the frog is non-hallucinatory, non-third eye opening, but the warrior will cleanse the physical body. I assume it resets the nervous system. It feels to me like it clears the physical channel as well as the spiritual channel. It cleanses the palate to receive the opening of the channel. Like it purifies it so that more light can get through the cracks, I think. Typically, after you would take combo, the warrior, the non-hallucinatory warrior that will cleanse the physical system, and it's a purgative that you use, usually water. You drink water is the way I received the purgative process. And then you purge the water. Then you take the bufo. The bufo is the toad. And the bufo is a 30-minute third eye opener that you typically inhale. You would smoke it and fall back. And you can have purgative processes from the bufo, but I typically don't. I don't have purgative processes with Madre Ayahuasca anymore either. When I took it, one of the times that I took it, I turned into a church. The shaman was like, "I'm ready to go to church." The second time I took it, because I started speaking to the light workers and started doing a lot of different things. But one of the things that it felt like I yelled it for a while. It probably was less than a minute or like 45 seconds, but it felt like I was saying this for the longest amount of time. I was actually wearing this outfit, and it was the word blessed. And I was just going, blessed. I was like screaming it, blessed. I was actually like anahata, heart chakra open, just kind of screaming this out. And as I am, this imagery is going through my head of every trial and tribulation I've faced. It's been multitudinous. I'm sure you can imagine. And it was just showing me the grace of every freaking shadow moment, the opus of light that is written alongside the darkness, the magnitude of love and joy capacity that is awakened when we have betrayal, hardship, trauma, trial, tribulation. The way these things stretch opposite. And so I was seeing each thing I had been through, and I don't know that I saw everything, but it was like a very quick stretch, because my life has been very long and much of it I don't remember. But there was this long stretch of like, look at this thing that happened and this thing that happened. And it was like, look at this thing you gained and look at the woman you became on the other side of this experience. Look at the jewels, look at the gems, look at the treasure chest you've stacked inside of you through the choices you've made around taking a wild, high-risk road of just wild, being in a double fire adventure into the spirit of life. And yeah, it was, there was one other word that I yelled like that on this particular iteration of taking Bufo, and it was God. And I just went, God. And there are many that will say when we connect to the toad, we'll connect to the divine. So it's interesting to me. I find the commitment in this realm that feels rampant to lack of divinity, because there are plant medicines or jungle medicines that have been around forever where you literally, you open to the God particle. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's like there's an awakening, an understanding, there's unification, there's a connectivity, there's a sacred geometry, there's a Fibonacci sequence back of the animate world. And, is my TV made of atoms? Yes, but it doesn't seem like it when my third eye is open. There is yeah, there's just a tremendous opportunity in the plant medicine world. It helps with PTSD. It's helped a lot of military people resolve PTSD trauma, actually. Plant medicines, jungle medicines, plant medicines from native tribes and native areas. You can go to, many places in South America and take a wide variety of powerful plant medicines. You can go to Africa and take iboga. There are many different plant medicines in the world. But they offer different benefits, and a common one is to heal PTSD, to heal trauma, to support one in integrating the shadow. And when I say shadow, I just mean that which is darkened simply because it has not been placed in the light of truth for one to assimilate the value of the given experience. And every experience I've ever had since the dawn of time, in all incarnations, in all lifetimes, and in all multiverses, I do believe has been a blessing. That conclusion does not come to me easily. And that conclusion has not come to me quickly, because life is long and the journey is confusing. It's a little bit irritating sometimes, and shocking. This ride is shocking. It's like, really? Okay. Interesting. I didn't know we were doing that right now, but let's do this thing that we're doing that's very strange. And the conclusion that I ultimately come to, and the conclusion that the plant medicine of Bufo causes me to come to, is like, Heather, you've only been blessed. And I think of tremendous hardships I've gone through, rejections from people that I have dearly and deeply loved, in my infinite, fantastic, strange way that I do that. You know what I mean? And I've gone through a long, long journey of, like so many of us, of rejection, of isolation, I'm never lonely. I was trying to think today of the last time I felt lonely, and I can't think of it. I don't know when that occurred last, because I'm not lonely, but I'm often alone. And I like being alone, because so much of my interactions with others as a neurodivergent person, I don't understand. And I reflect on it, and I don't understand why it's easy to not have honesty present, or it's easy to not have, a lot of things present in connection to relating to another. It's a surprising realm. It's full of, it does almost nothing that I expect. So it's like, I feel like I know nothing all the time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways that I'm deeply naive and ill-prepared for what is about to transpire in my life. And what a grace, what a gift, what a blessing, because so much of my life has been other than what I've wanted. I mean, even from the magnitude and the amount of social interaction I've had in this life, I'm a deeply curious, introverted, studious person that really loves to read and study. And I'm happy to learn from others, but being neurodivergent, I have special interests. So, if you're a quantum physicist, I'd really like to talk to you. If you are a sex expert, I'd love to talk to you. If you are a psychology expert, I'd be interested to talk to you. If you are an artist that has a wild modality, I'd love to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things that really garner my special interest focus, and it can be humans, and it can be all kinds of things, and I have to be very mindful of, like, Heather, don't be mired in one kind of experience. You socializing, you being more exposed to the world, you forcing yourself to have exposure by going out socially, even though my tendency is to want to cook at home and stay at home. I love being at home, or in nature, I love to be alone in one of the two places, or like with my cat. But that forcing of Heather Feather out into the world, the way that I push myself like a bird out of the nest and go, let's see if you can fly, little silly goose, you know what I mean? It serves me, and it's a grace, and it's a blessing, because I learn how sweet humans are. I see all kinds of really precious behavior from two-leggeds that melts my heart, that, like, I saw it today. I saw somebody being really nice to someone that societally we assume there can be judgment of people and different expressions in this realm. But there was such a sweetness and a kindness exchange between these two entities today. And I thought, how cute is that? They have almost become friends from engaging in the space where they go to. And I'm only witnessing love right now. And what a treasure, you know? It's important to know that it's okay to have trial and tribulation. It's okay to not understand others. It's okay to not get it, to not get yourself. Why did I do that? Why did I behave in that way? Why did I choose that? That was very out of character for me. All of it's allowed in an infinite multiverse, infinite probability, viably, considering that quarks potentially do go into a vacuum before. Let me not get into a diatribe, but like it is a vast sea of everythingness, this world, and it's all allowed and it's all a blessing. And what the consciousness wants to do is it wants to say, like, I want to be happy, I want to have fun, I want to be in love, I want to be laughing. But if you were born and laughed until the day you died, you would be so bored. If the sun was always out and we never had nighttime and this period of rest, and if we didn't shut off our minds and go to the land of Nod and experience something really different and odd, how mundane and banal eternality would be. And isn't it interesting that in the living tree, aside from the sacred geometry and the Fibonacci sequence and the mathematics and obvious intelligence back of the universe, isn't it interesting that we're given this variation? One of the things Madre Ayahuasca once told me, because I was telling her, I think it's really irritating that the creative principle is always present and there's no point at which I can get off this wheel and stop being a creator. I and the Father are one, co-creator, as above, so below, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to be a heather feather, and I just want to be in the breath of God. And I don't even want to be, I barely want to be a particle that's comprised in the breath of God. I almost want to be the emptiness in that breath. I don't need to exist. I don't need the labels. I don't need the concoction of an entity with an ego matrix, and this is defining me and that does not, and I oppose this and I welcome that, and I just don't want to. And she was like, my clever girl that gets all the cracks in the sidewalk that everyone misses. Yes, creation is always creating, and it's important to know I wrote a lot of exits in the story. You can commit suicide. You can close your eyes. You can close your eyes in a moment of anxiety and go into the alpha wavelength of mind, dropping from the 10 to 40 hertz of beta and starting to lower the hertz of the brain and allowing the self to receive, potentially moving then into theta, into higher levels of mind that have a greater creative capacity and ability to receive. She said, I wrote many, many exits. You know what I mean? You can exit, you can take a bath, you can go to nature, you can be a little forest sprite for a minute. There are many ways to get away from the concept of I have to produce and bear fruit this given day. And so I try to remember that it is a blessing, even if I'm receiving trial and tribulation, even if I'm having a difficult day. That the gentleman I was dating, we decided last night to not date anymore because there are certain things that I do require in relationship, and they're just foundational. They're not gonna change, and that's okay. I don't judge that we need to have the same list of core values. I'm not right. I'm right for me, and I'm sure you're right for you, and I honor your system of what's right for you, and I have a system of what's right for me and what I will and will not do when it comes to taking my time and sharing it with another. And that's okay too. Everything's allowed. And it's a blessing. You know, it's a blessing as my life changes. Suddenly I am surrendering attachment and I'm letting go of this idea that anything that's happening needs to be different. I don't need to change it. I don't need to control it. I don't need to cajole it. I don't need to create it. Let me just witness and fall back into the grace of this bliss, of this blessed life, because we are all so blessed. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. I love to hear your thoughts and comments there. And I do offer services at rarebirdmedicine.com. Amun.